Some questions are just timeless, They echo through the centuries. And one of the biggest has to be, what is Nibbana? It sounds so huge, maybe even impossible to answer. But what if we could hear an answer straight from someone who actually walked the path? Well, today, that's exactly what we're going to do. We're diving right into an ancient conversation to get some clarity. So, let's set the scene. Picture this. Ancient India, on the banks of the great Ganges River. Two people meet. One is a seeker, a wanderer named Sāmaṇḍaka. The other is Sariputta, one of the Buddha's most trusted and wisest disciples. And this simple meeting on a riverbank leads to one of the most profound Q&As you'll ever hear. Sāmaṇḍaka doesn't waste any time with small talk. He gets right to the heart of it with a question that's both incredibly direct and deeply respectful. He just asks, "Friend, what is Nibbana?" He's not looking for some flowery, poetic answer. He wants to know what it really is. And believe me, he gets an answer.
Okay, so here's Sariputta's answer, and this is where it gets really fascinating. He doesn't define Nibbana by what it is, but by what's been taken away. Think of it like this. It's a process of removal, of putting out certain fires that burn inside the mind.
Here's the core of it. Nibbana is described as the complete and utter destruction of three fundamental forces. These are the things that cloud our minds and, let's be honest, cause all our suffering. So it's not about adding some new magical quality to yourself. It's about removing what's already there, obscuring what's underneath.
And the definition gets super specific, breaking it down into three key destructions. First, you have raga kayo. That's the end of passion, of greed, of that constant wanting and clinging. Second, there's dosa kayo, the end of aversion, hatred, and ill will. And third, moha kayo, the end of delusion and ignorance. Imagine these three as roaring fires. Nibbana is the peace that's left when all three are finally and completely extinguished. Hearing this, Sāmaṇḍaka asks a really practical follow-up. I mean, you would too, right? He's basically saying, okay, that sounds amazing, but is it just a nice philosophical idea? Or is there an actual walkable path that gets you there?
Sariputta's reply is so simple, so direct, and just incredibly powerful. He says one word, ati. There is. Wow, that one word changes everything, doesn't it? It takes Nibbana from being some distant, abstract concept and turns it into a reachable destination. There is a way.
So if a path exists, what is it? What's the actual method for realizing this profound state of peace? The path has a name. It's called the Aryo Atangiko Mago, which we know today as the Noble Eightfold Path. And this isn't just a list of beliefs you're supposed to have. No way. It's a complete, practical system for living, a guide for totally transforming your life from the inside out. And this path, it covers the whole shebang. It starts with how you see the world, that's right view. It moves into your ethics, how you interact with people through right speech and right action. And then it goes deep into your own mind with mental training, like right mindfulness and right concentration. It really is a full curriculum for free. Now, any ancient teaching worth its salt has to be realistic. It can't just give us the shiny ideal without talking about the challenges. And another dialogue with Sariputta gets right into the nitty-gritty of how hard this path can actually be. The question is so simple and so human, one we've all asked about anything that's worth doing. Friend, what's the difficult part about this? What are the real obstacles I should expect to run into on this journey?
Sariputta lays out three big hurdles. First up, pabbaja, which means going forth. That initial leap of leaving behind old habits, old ways of life, that's really hard. Second is abhirati, or finding delight. It's tough to find genuine joy in the practice itself, instead of always looking for it outside yourself. And then, the final boss, the manudhanma patipati. That's the day-in, day-out grind of actually living by the teachings, consistently, moment by moment. So, okay, we've got a clear goal, a clear path, and a very real understanding of the difficulties. That leaves one last burning question that anybody would have after hearing about all this hard work. How long? After you commit, after you face all these challenges, how long until you reach the goal? Is this something that takes one lifetime or, a million? It's the ultimate question about effort and reward. And the answer? It's just breathtaking in its simplicity and its encouragement. Nasaram, not long. Think about how profound that is. It doesn't mean it's easy or instant, but it's this powerful assurance that the goal isn't infinitely far away.
With the right practice, it's actually within reach.
So what we take away from this ancient dialogue is something both incredibly realistic but also deeply hopeful. The path to extinguishing greed, hatred, and delusion is a serious challenge for sure, but the promise is that it's not some far-off, impossible dream. Which kind of brings the question right back to us, doesn't it? Knowing the challenges and knowing the promise, what's the first difficulty you're willing to face? Maybe it's going forth from a single bad habit, or trying to find delight in a simple practice, or even just trying to live by your own values, consistently, for one whole day. The whole journey starts right there.